For decades, the moon's far side has hidden behind a veil of silence. A frozen landscape permanently turned away from Earth, untouched by sunlight and unreachable by our eyes. We've called it the dark side, not because of shadows, but because of ignorance. What lay beyond our view was a cosmic blind spot. That is, until China's Chang'e 6 mission pierced the darkness. And what it brought back wasn't just dust and rocks. It carried secrets buried for billions of years. Secrets that don't match our textbooks. Secrets that terrified the world's leading scientists. The theory of how the moon formed, shaken. The timeline of volcanic activity ripped apart. And at the heart of it all, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist has come forward with a chilling warning. We were wrong about everything. But what could China have discovered that even NASA didn't see coming? And why does this change everything about our understanding of Earth's oldest companion? Keep watching, because what lies beneath the moon's surface might just shake the foundations of our reality. When Chang'e 6 touched down on the far side of the moon, its mission was simple. Collect samples from an unvisited region near the lunar South Pole. But what it found wasn't simple at all. Beneath the dust, buried in volcanic scars older than life on Earth, lay the unmistakable signature of a primordial magma ocean. Not water, molten rock, a vast ancient sea of fire that once engulfed the moon's crust billions of years ago. This wasn't speculation. This was chemically and isotopically confirmed by the very rocks the probe brought back. What stunned scientists was the uniformity. This molten ocean didn't just cover the near side. It stretched across to the far side as well. That discovery alone shattered one of the moon's oldest mysteries, the belief that the visible and hidden hemispheres form differently. Suddenly, both faces of the moon were linked by a single violent birth. And if the moon is more symmetrical than we thought, then so are its secrets. But the story doesn't end with ancient lava. The same lunar samples held whispers of something even stranger, evidence of a magnetic field, not dead, but active, long after the moon was believed to have gone geologically silent. This was completely unexpected. Data suggested that lunar magnetism fluctuated wildly for hundreds of millions of years after its supposed expiration. Why? Because the volcanic activity didn't stop when we thought it did. Instead, it evolved in two waves spaced thousands of millennia apart. The moon wasn't a fossil. It was still bleeding heat, still reshaping itself from the inside. And here's where it gets eerie. This prolonged internal energy points to a more dynamic lunar core than ever imagined. One that may have responded to external gravitational forces in ways we don't yet understand. If true, it means the moon wasn't just passively orbiting Earth. It was interacting, resisting, reacting. And it raises a terrifying question: if we misread the moon's history, what else are we getting wrong about the forces shaping our own planet? As scientists dug deeper into the chemical composition of the return samples, a pattern began to emerge. A strange, undeniable imbalance. The far side of the moon was richer in water, yes, water, in specific minerals than the side we always see. That's right. Despite receiving no Earth-facing solar radiation and sitting in perpetual darkness, the far side harbored more volatile elements. That should be impossible under the prevailing theory known as the giant impact hypothesis, the idea that the moon was born from a collision between Earth and a Mars-sized object. According to that model, the distribution of elements inside the moon should be mostly uniform. But it's not. The difference in uranium, thorium, and water content between the two sides is alarming. It means the moon's inner layers were somehow segregated during or after its formation. And suddenly, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist stepped forward to say what many feared: the moon's birth wasn't a clean collision. It was something else. Maybe a slower merger. Maybe two moons. Maybe something not natural at all. Just when we thought the revelations couldn't get any stranger, new radar scans from both Chinese and American instruments focused on an iconic location, the Sea of Tranquility. This is where Apollo 11 first landed, where Neil Armstrong stepped onto alien soil. But now, half a century later, a massive underground tunnel has been detected beneath that very site. A naturally formed lava tube stretching over 100 m deep, perfectly preserved beneath the surface. What's shocking isn't just that it exists, it's that we never knew it was there. Even though it lay beneath one of the most heavily studied spots in space exploration history, the tunnel structure suggests protection from cosmic radiation, stable thermal conditions, and the potential for a future habitable base. But some scientists believe that it may not be entirely natural. Its shape, location, and depth defy expectations. Why wasn't it seen in earlier scans? Why does it sit precisely beneath a historic landing zone? Was it a coincidence? Or was something left behind, something buried, something waiting? In the weeks following the Tianji 6 mission, China's lunar orbiter continued gathering data from the far side. What it uncovered was not visible, not tangible, but unmistakably present, a gravitational anomaly so powerful, so localized that it subtly distorted the orbit of satellites passing overhead. It wasn't just a fluctuation. It was a pull deep beneath the lunar surface. Scientists compared it to a hidden mass anomaly buried under the South Pole Aitken Basin, an enormous impact crater billions of years old. But this one was different. It wasn't a leftover from some violent collision. It felt denser, colder, more deliberate. Some physicists quietly wondered if this could be a remnant of an ultra-heavy alloy or something even stranger, a relic from an earlier lunar epoch or a buried object of artificial origin. That gravitational pulse now stands as the moon's greatest mystery, an invisible force reaching upward from the darkness, warping the very fabric of space beneath our feet. And no one knows what's buried there or why it's still pulling. In trying to probe deeper into this mass anomaly, Chinese scientists turned to seismic instruments, both on-board and relay-based. What they received wasn't the expected echo of tectonic silence, but something far more unsettling, the absence of resonance. Typically, when lunar quakes occur, they ripple across the crust for hours, what we call moonquakes. But near the gravitational anomaly, vibrations vanished almost instantly. It was as if the rock swallowed sound. This defied all previous seismic models. There was no bounce, no echo, just silence. Like knocking on a hollow chamber lined with velvet. A void that doesn't reflect, doesn't return, only absorbs. One geophysicist compared it to striking a bell and hearing nothing. If this zone is filled with a substance that neutralizes vibrations, then we're not just dealing with unusual geology. We're dealing with a shielded space, something that was either created to hide something or to contain it. As Chinese and international scientists worked to create a three-dimensional map of the moon's deep subsurface, one layer in particular drew their attention and dread. About 80 kilometers beneath the crust, there exists a stratum with a density and composition that does not match any lunar model. It doesn't follow the natural progression of mantle crust layering. It isn't uniform and, worse, it has angular edges. Unlike molten layering caused by internal cooling, this foreign layer appears embedded, inserted like a sheet of material slipped between pages of a closed book. Its mineral makeup unknown, its seismic profile nearly flat. One Nobel physicist dared to say aloud what others only whispered, "We're not looking at a moon that formed. We're looking at a moon that was assembled." Was the moon the product of natural impact and accretion? Or is there a deeper architecture beneath the surface? One designed for function, not formation. Perhaps the most terrifying discovery wasn't buried beneath the moon, but lost in the space between it and us. While studying reflected radiation patterns, a team of astrophysicists detected something they still struggle to explain, an ultra-low frequency light signature bouncing between the moon and deep space that never reaches Earth. It's as if something on the far side is constantly emitting, yet redirecting or absorbing that signal before it can arc homeward. The wavelength doesn't match any known lunar emissions. It isn't solar. It isn't cosmic. And yet, it's there, persistent, rhythmic, cycling every 27 hours. Some theorize it's a remnant from early solar system activity. Others believe it's an active beacon. But what if it's something else? What if someone, doesn't want us to see the full story? The light is there, but somehow we're not supposed to receive it. And now we have to ask, are we just discovering the moon, or are we waking up something that's been listening all along? We once looked at the moon as a silent witness, a pale, predictable relic of our solar system's violent past, a dead rock that simply orbited Earth, influencing tides, inspiring poetry, and serving as the backdrop of mankind's greatest step into the stars. But now that narrative is collapsing. What China's Chang'e 6 mission has uncovered isn't just surprising, it's paradigm-shattering. It paints the moon not as a passive object, but as an active participant in a story far older, far more complex, and far more intentional than we ever imagined. Molten oceans that never cooled properly. Magnetic pulses long after death. Seismic silences that shouldn't exist. Layers that don't belong. Signals that vanish before they reach us. Every piece adds to a puzzle that's starting to look less like geology and more like architecture, something built, something preserved, something hidden. The moon may not be the origin story we thought. It may be a library, a container, or worse, a warning. Perhaps it's always been more than a satellite. Perhaps it's the key to a past that humanity was never meant to rediscover, a past too dangerous to remember and far too terrifying to ignore. And now, with the veil slowly lifting, we're faced with the one question no scientist dares to ask out loud: what if the moon is not what we found, but what found us first? Do you believe the moon is just a natural formation? Or is there something deeper, older, and far more mysterious lurking beneath its surface? Is this discovery the beginning of a new chapter for humanity? Or the reopening of a story we were never meant to read? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If this video opened your eyes, share it because more people need to understand that what we thought was familiar may actually be the strangest thing in the sky. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us because next time we look at the moon, we may not be the only ones watching.